So we're here right as France against Latvia is ending because it's actually a 3 point game. So I'll have it on in my second monitor. Thankfully, since I got it now, and we'll continue our tier listing shift. Avoided the word. And tier list the starting points, point guard, shooting guard for every team. Shout out to A and J does stuff. I'll leave the link to the tier list down below, and let's jump straight into it. So, Anthony Simons, firstly, that's an intriguing player to rank here. Like, he has really good stats overall, right? He's averaging like over 20 points. Is really young still. He's around, what is it, like 20, 24 maybe, 23? 24, yeah. Shot 38% from the 3 point line, which is great in this day and age, of course. He's really solid, man. He's really good. He's a good all around offensive player. The defense is a little better. He has a good wingspan for his size. So I'll put him in good as of right now. We'll see how we shape it out overall throughout this journey of ranking, tier listing, how you wanna call players. Nonetheless, Anthony Edwards. That's my boy. He got next. I do not care. I mean, essentially the best player will be the best of the player. I think, of course, the best player, and got next is the player who is the most likely to overtake him, essentially. And I think Anthony Edwards is just that guy, man. 25, 6 and 4. 46% from the field, improving every year it appears, getting that confidence even though he doesn't need to really. Still 22 years young, incredible stuff, and I'm a huge Anthony Edwards fan, even though he did some wild-ish sometimes, but still very huge fan. And he got next. Austin Reeves, man. Austin Reeves mania has been something crazy, and he certainly is playing like it. Because I mean, good God, how good has he been actually overall? And he is one of the most important players, funny enough, in this America's squad for the World Cup, and he had a great game one, and he's been sensational. There's not much more to say. He's had an incredible second half of the year after Russell Westbrook got traded. He had a really great playoff run. I don't know, man. Like, he's good. I can put him over Simons and into elite, but I don't know what his ceiling is. He's such a weird player to rank, and I the one thing I will just say is that he's just surprisingly really good, man. And I've been on it all year when I watched the Lakers throughout the year, so there's that. Bradley Beal, I'll rank Bradley Beal into the elite. Some injury issues, and he certainly needs uh, I don't know, man. He just needs to stay healthy, and I think he'll be fine as the third option. He's certainly elite uh, for um, for for Phoenix. It's intriguing because you have Devin Booker here still, so it's not just starting point guards, right? But point guards, shooting guards, but nonetheless, who will stay with it, right? Still a solid tier list overall. And Bruce Brown, he obviously plays for the Indiana Pacers now. He's once again another type player that I don't know how to rank. Like, I don't think he's as good as. I mean, I don't know. It's simply objective. I think he's a really good basketball player, right? The same goes for Simons. Just he's a much more. Him and Austin Reeves are much more similar in all around game. Reeves was probably a little better offensively, while Bruce Brown is just much more of a connector, even though Austin Reeves is a really good connector also. So hard to rank, but it is what it is. Then is that actually there's no way that's Cam Thomas, right? Like, he's not gonna be starting, and as you know, he is a solid shooter, but if I were to compare him to the rest here, I would put him in bad maybe even, but I'll put him in meh as of right now and see what's up. CJ McCollum, hey, back in the day he would have been elite, but he really lost a step in the second half playing with the injuries. So I'll put him in good, and hopefully he regains his form in this year, because last year it was just a little rough later on. Colin Sexton, I'm gonna put him in triple question mark, and not because I don't think he's solid, but because I just I just don't know how to rank him here. I don't think he's meh. I don't think he's Cam Thomas per se, but I don't think he belongs here, right? So I'll just stay off him. He's had injury issues throughout the years. I think if he's healthy, he's gonna be in good. But I just don't think that is an appropriate place for him. He should be somewhere between meh and good. And he's just injury prone right now. Deshante Murray. Deshante Murray is good. Deshante Murray is really good. Not as good defensively as Atlanta fans hoped out to be, but he is really solid offensively, solid all around player. Um, he once he started going, he was great for the Hawks. Great offensively, great connector between the plays, solid defender. He needs to do better offensively overall because he was just not as good as you would need him to be. He just wasn't elite defensively, which is probably what they which is what they obviously wanted with him when they traded him to be a backcourt mate for Trae Young. We'll see how it goes with Quinn Snyder at the helm and their second season together with Trae. But I'm still pretty much a Deshante Murray fan. Desmond Bain, like I would love to put him in a lead, and I think if he didn't have that bad injury last year, he could have been there because he had a really great start of the season. Averaged 21.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, shot 41% from the 3-point line, 48% from the field. Had once again a little rougher playoff run, if I remember correctly. Let me see. Last year it was due to injuries. This year it was, I mean, it wasn't as bad. It was still 20. I mean, he was pretty solid. Mm. He was pretty solid. Just had a rough last game, which is what is on my mind right now, right? And didn't shoot the ball well from 3-point range. I think he's good. Not sure if he's better than Dejante or they're on the same level. That's rough. I would much rather have Desmond Bain because of his age, right? But that's simply it. Devin Booker is the best to me. He's just special, man. Special player. Can do a little bit of everything. Excited to see him with Bradley Beal, of course. Excited to see him this year, how he does. And even though he sometimes gets a little unlikable for me, he's still just special player. And he was even better defensively last year, which I did not foresee happening. So huge shout out to him. Then it's Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell is a little underrated. Shot almost 39% from the 3-point line for the Spurs, which is understandable why he was a little forgotten. 18.5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. I think he's going to be really solid. And I'm going to put him in good. Like, maybe it should be like this, but I still think he's gonna be here more of so I'll do it just like this. I think his 3-point shot will be great next to Wemby. I think he has a lot of room to improve. Still just 23 years young, and he has a lot of great peripherals. He is solid defensively. A little smaller a little smaller. He's 6'5" for a shooting guard. He plays small forward a lot also, so there's that. And yeah, we are 2 minutes left with this France Latvia game. It's going down to the wire. It's 84-81, so that's pretty epic. And Donovan Mitchell is gonna go into a lead. I don't think he's worse than Anthony Edwards right now, but I just want Anthony Edwards in God next, and that's how I'm gonna do it. Donovan Mitchell is really great. Probably the second best shooting guard in the league right now. At the start of last year, I would probably have him over Donovan Mitchell. I mean, over Devin Booker, that is right. But um, after last year, I think Devin Booker has solidified himself as the best, the best, the best player at the shooting guard position. Then we have Gary Harris. I don't know. He's a solid role player, but at the end of the day, he's just meh. I would say he's still a better role player, of course, than Cam Thomas. He can be a role player for sure. He's shot 43% from the 3-point line last year in just 48 games. Once again, another guy struggling with injuries. Davis Bertans just made his first free throw, and it's a 2-point game between France and Latvia, which is crazy. And Gary Trent Jr. is next. Gary Trent Jr. Let me just see if he makes the second free throw here. This is so random. He makes it. It's a 1 point game. Good grief almighty. France is struggling really this tournament, but Gary Trent Jr. averaged like 18 points per game, 17.4 shot, 37% from the 3-point line, which is a little lower than his career average. He obviously belongs in good. I would not rather have him than any of these guys, to be quite fair with you. Even though if I were to rank it, who I would rather have, then even CJ McCollum would probably be lower here, right? But he's good. Jaden Ivey. That's a weird name here. Jaden Ivey. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm gonna go like this. Nah, it feels weird to call him Meh. It's just like Ait. And I mean, this should be Ait, and this should be like solid. I think Jaden Ivey is solid, and he's gonna be good probably by the end of the last season, by the end of the next season if it continues to go like he did this season, where he started off really weirdly, and I was not impressed with his play. I thought he was a little too all over the place with everything, took too many contested jumpers, wasn't controlled, and then as the year got on, he obviously grew more control, which makes sense for a young player, right? And he just felt more grounded and more like a team player when, of course, the team continued to juggle through the season. We'll see how it goes with Kate back. I'm excited to see that backcourt going, man. Kate and Jaden Ivey. I'm really high on Kate if you watched my point guard tier list. And yeah, we'll see. James Wiseman is, of course, still the best player there. Man, I'm still rooting for Big Jim a lot, but I don't know, it's not looking great. And it's still a 1 point game once again. Beautiful layup here from Latvia. Not sure actually who that was. It wasn't Bertans. And I wasn't watching the full game, so I'm exposing myself for no reason. Jalen Green. Jalen Green is good. He has a little inflated stats because he's playing on a bad team. Shots pretty poorly from the field, but nonetheless, he's still good, and I would much rather have him than these two, I suppose, even though it's fairly weird to rank these, because I feel like just Bruce Brown and Austin Reeves are such a unique players compared to these, right? They don't put up the scoring numbers, but they're so good, man. They're such good basketball players. They do a little bit of everything on the floor just really well, while a lot of these other guys are mostly scorers or just don't contribute to winning as much as them. But once again, that's subjective. You could argue if the Nuggets had DeJounte Murray, then it would have been another no question title and stuff like that. But hey, that's not the reality we live in. It's not about what ifs. It's not about stuff like that. That's what ruins a lot of the stuff. And yeah, sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. I'm not gonna engage on that and just leave it at that. To be quite honest with you. Latvia is now leading, and there's Porzingis in the stands. That's crazy that even Porzingis is not actually playing, right? He's had that foot. What was it? Foot. Some chronic pain in his foot, man. Which can't imagine playing basketball with that, but he's obviously He's going to, but yeah, it's sad, man. But unfortunately, that's what happens to elite athletes, especially when they're 7'3". Nonetheless, back to the tier list. James Harden, still elite. I would much rather have him than Bradley Beal. Of course, depends on a little bit of everything here. Maybe he's lost a bit of step, but he's still elite in my opinion. And we'll see what happens this year when he's all about motivation, right? And when he's doing a little bit of everything to get out from the Philadelphia 76ers. And I made a funny video about it. Check that out. Jaylen Brown is better than James Harden in my opinion, and he is the where I would much rather have Anthony Edwards, but I'm not sure if I can say yeah, Anthony Edwards is better to me. I don't care as of right now, to be quite honest with you. I think he's a better basketball player. So I would have it Booker first, Mitchell second. I know it doesn't make a little sense here, but it's about got next, man. And Anthony Edwards just got next. And he's my third best shooting guard. And Jaylen Brown is the fourth, probably Harden fifth, unless I'm forgetting somebody. I don't think there's anyone better than these 5 right now. And that's that. Josh Giddey. That's another rough player to rank. Josh Giddey. Joshua Giddey. Averaging 17, 8, and 6. Not a great shooter, of course. Shot 32.5, which, I mean, isn't as bad. And, of course, Josh Giddey. Like, I think he's good, man. I guess I'm just a more positive guy in terms of this stuff. I don't know, man. I wouldn't call him just solid, man. I think he's good. I think he's a good overall basketball player. Needs to improve a little bit defensively and a little bit with the turnovers. It would be nice if he shot more better from the 3-point line, but it's not what he's obviously there for. Nonetheless, he is really good, I think. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I would call more of a solid player, but he's a really good role player at the same time, right? The 42.3% from the 3-point line last year, 11 points per game. He had a really solid playoff run last year, and Latvia is leading by 1 with 10 seconds to go, and they are shooting free throws. And he makes the first one. Oh my god, this is crazy. Holy moly. Nonetheless, I'm going to put him in solid and leave it at that. Kevin Huerter, another player I'm not that high on. He's a great 3-point shooter, averaged really well, but... And he misses one. Oh my god. And France has another chance. 7 seconds to go. Evan Fournier doesn't get fouled. 4 seconds. Wide open. Will he make it? He misses. And France lost to Latvia. Oh my god. That's crazy. France really lost to Latvia. Holy moly. That's crazy. And they are going wild. Oh my. That's special. Holy moly. Holy moly. I sound like the... Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Nonetheless, 40% from the 3-point line. He's great at shooting, but I think he's just so bad defensively, even though he got a little better last year. I'm just not as high on him as on the other guys, even though I should probably... I think I'm gonna put Devin Vassell here, even though the stats are great. I'm gonna put him in solid right now. I'm gonna put Gary Trent in here right now and Josh Giddey in here right now. I don't think it's I'm gonna keep Josh Giddey here, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna leave it like that as of right now, and that's it. Clay. I can't put him in elite in good faith, but he's still really good, man. And he's still sensational. I don't know, man. I still think Clay is elite. And if you would rather have Desmond Bain after last year's playoffs, I get it. But I'm gonna be a homer here. Nah, I can't do that. I'm gonna keep him in good. He and Desmond Bain are both to me a little bit like between good and elite. I think they're somewhere in the middle. And you might argue Austin Reeves and Bruce Brown belong somewhere up here because they are just that special at their role, but that's it. Landry Shamet. I don't know what he's doing here. Nonetheless, that's it. I'm gonna rank Sexton now in solid because now it makes much more sense to have him there. Pat Connaughton, he's right. He's really good at his role. He's a solid shooter. Just, I'm not sure I would call him. Like, he had a bad year last year, right? I don't know, man. He's aight, but I don't think he's better than Gary Harris. Paul George. Do I give Paul George elite, or do I just say he's good, huh? I should put grade here, maybe. Even though, if I were to put actually grade, and then put a tier below, where I would put good, I could just do this, and I would put these two here. I honestly would still put CJ McCollum here. I would put him here, and I would put him here. I might put him here. And that's much better to me. I don't know if that makes sense to you all, but it makes more sense to me. And I'm gonna put Paul George in grade because of the injuries. He can stay healthy. If he could stay healthy, I would put him here. I think it has to play a role in that. And I think he's great still. RJ Barrett. Controversial. RJ Barrett is good. Like, he's not, of course, great, but he's good. Yeah. I'm gonna leave him at that. Seth Curry. Um, like I don't know, man. Steph Curry is right. I don't think he's as good as KCP, of course, with KCP's defense. He doesn't do nearly as enough as Kevin Herder or these guys, so I'm gonna put him at the top of 8. Teddy Rozier. That's a weird player to rank here, and huh. He averaged 21. He is overall a really good offensive player, so I'm gonna put him in good. Just a little bit of a guy that's kind of like the uh, uh, Tyler Hero. I think he's. If I have Anthony Simons in great, should I have Tyler Hero in great? Huh. I mean, maybe even I should do this. Might be a little controversial, and I'm gonna be controversial at the end. I'm gonna put Zach Levine to elite. I mean, elite to great because I think he's great. I mean, is it controversial? I don't know. He's really great. Needs to be better defensively. Didn't shoot as well last year due to some injuries, but he's really great, man. He's a really great offensive player and great overall basketball player. Needs to be a little better in the defensive stuff, but that's it. I may have sped up a little bit too much. Is this good enough for me? I would say so. I think this is much better to have great and good. It creates much better parity for these guys who I don't want to just call solid. For example, Devin Vassell, right? Josh Giddey, Bruce Brown and stuff belong here perfectly to me. I think guys like Anthony Simons, Tyler Hero belong somewhere between good and great with the young potential. Jalen Green could be there also, but he just didn't show the efficiency of them and the overall shot creation as we expected so far. These guys would be all-star role players, right? CJ McCollum I would still put in good because he just regressing a little bit and I'm a little scared for him with his age now. You could put I think Gary Trent should be also in good, right? Kevin Herter is solid, but I just can't put him higher as of right now. And I'll do it like this for now. I might revisit tomorrow. We'll see. Nonetheless, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you agree, disagree with. And we'll continue with small forwards somewhere down the line next week. We'll probably also start some off-season stuff. Maybe even some. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I figure out. I will see you all then. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And just hope everything's working out for everyone. See you all around.